It's like a little lion just next to a beggar with his mouth open. It's probably waiting for some food from his mother.
And it says that there's no substitute for nature. Because that's interesting, because, you know, if we look at the euphemisms for boobs, and I don't think they got mams up there, but you ever heard them referred to as mams?
Moobs.
No? What?
Moobs.
Boobs, just boobs. Moobs.
I've heard moobs, like man.
Oh, but that's man boobs. That's slightly different. I don't know that they're going to be that good for breastfeeding, but, you know, because you've got BAPs. Pats, mams, no. Oh well, mams being short for mammary glands. Mammals, we're all mammals, and that's why we're mammals, because we feed our young milk that we produce ourselves. Is it just important to breastfeed for those first few days?
No, a baby has quite considerable growth spurts as they age. Quite an important one is around a 6-week period, 5 or 6 week period, and at that stage, babies often become quite fussy at the breast, and it's because the demands that are being put on them to grow. And what we encourage mothers to do is to look out for those signs. So the milk is tailor-made for each stage of development. It's something that happens naturally. You know, when a mother is breastfeeding and nurturing her child as they get older, the breast milk will naturally change to suit the age of the baby. Once again, we don't know when their tummies are growing. We don't know when their growth spurt's coming, but they do, as does our breast milk. So it's a relationship that breast milk will have with a baby, and the mother is honouring that change.
That sounds really clever and amazing. How do you know how it does that?
It's very clever. There's in most magazines, when they talk about breastfeeding, they talk about demand feeding. It's not really a title that I like particularly much, because it almost sounds like you're spoiling a baby by having them demand a feed, but it is what it is. We need to hand the onus, like I say, back over to the child, because they do know when to start and finish a feed. They won't overfeed. Some bottle-fed babies will feed and feed and feed and feed, and then bring up the milk that they don't want, and often becomes like a sicky baby. Whereas a breastfed baby will only feed until the area of their tummy is full, and then let you know.
My first child was a really sicky baby, and he was breastfed. He used to after every feed, I can remember, and I don't actually know what's worse, whether having regurgitated breast milk down my cleavage or down the back of my neck. And I have this awful memory of my husband trying to wipe it off the back of my neck with a towel, but kind of rubbing it in rather than wiping it off. It's just, those first few days were horrendous. And I have to say, those first few days for me were horrendous. And I don't know whether this is the case, I mean, I had a very ferocious feeder.
Right, okay.
And it was agony, absolute agony.
Okay.
And do you find people saying that? They're saying, look, I just cannot breastfeed because this just hurts so much.
It's common, however, the only reason that a mother will have discomfort when breastfeeding is normally if the latch isn't right. So it's very much like if we ourselves were to drink through a pinch straw. So you would kind of satisfy your thirst, but you would have to put a lot of effort, and it would take a long time, and you probably wouldn't be completely satisfied before you gave up. And it's very much like that with a breastfed baby that's not latched correctly. So, for example, the nipple would be in the wrong area of the baby's mouth, and probably cause friction by rubbing on the hard palate. These are all things, if you see somebody at the right time, we can look at the feed, assess the feed, change the positioning, get mum and baby comfortable. And for mother it will be more comfortable, for baby it will be like releasing the pinch straw.
There's a fact down here. It says, did you know that a baby who is fed formula milk eats 30,000 more calories than a breastfed baby by 8 months of age? This is equivalent to 120 Mars bars. So that kind of has that link to childhood obesity, really. Whereas if you're eating that many more calories, that it's going to have an impact. What do you love now?
There's this postcard and it's a drawing of like a family by a little child. It says grandpa, grandma, and then it says mummy, but the mummy's drawn as food, which is quite funny.
Now, if I turn that one over, it will tell us what the thinking was before that. It says, did you ever think of becoming a mother? What about a banana? When you become a mother, remember, breastfeed your child. Mother's milk is nutritionally complete. That means that your baby doesn't need any other food, fruit, baby food, juice or cow's milk, until 6 months after birth. Breastfeeding also strengthens the bond between mother and child, making both of you feel closer and protected. Did you know that about the food, that you didn't need any other food until 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
Is that surprising?
Yeah.
Why is that surprising?
I thought they have to eat, juice, fruit, stuff like that, not just breast milk.
No, it says there, until 6 months, just milk. Just a milk monster.